Hi guys, welcome to the 22nd episode of In the Spotlight. Today I don't need to really introduce my guest. He is the man of the moment, captain of the Indian team that just won the FIDE Online Chess Olympiad. Thank you so much for joining us, Vidit.
Thanks, Mudit. Thanks for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Awesome.
Can
So
you hear
we're
me well,
basic.
by the way?
Yep, I think we can hear each other pretty well. If anyone has any issues, let us know in the chat.
Yeah, I'm only worried about my internet. Always.
The internet is a topic we're going to be discussing today. So let's
Oh,
sort of get started with how did you start playing chess as a young boy, and was there anyone in your family that played?
yeah, my dad used to play chess, but mainly we played a lot of cricket. And it was funny, like I wanted to join a club because my parents are doctors, and they thought, okay, it's better to engage the kid in some activity because they had to also go to the clinic. So I went to the club and they told me that okay, I'm too young to play cricket because season ball se khelte the and I might get hurt.
Hmm.
So and I was like very thin and I didn't have that physique for cricket back then. So they told me, okay, you have choice between badminton and chess. And I used to lose a lot to my dad in chess, and which I hated, like losing. I still can't stand it. So I thought, okay, let me learn chess. My main motivation was to defeat my dad in chess, and then it led to here.
So that's sort of how you started playing. So what is it about chess that you love compared to other sports that you could have taken
Well,
up?
well, well. Right now, I love that I can still play it,
Yeah.
despite the pandemic. Um, but like I don't know if you have played like बचपन में game आता था. There was a game called Brain Vita. I don't know if
Yeah,
anybody has
yeah.
heard about it.
I have, yeah.
It was this marble thing. You have
Yeah,
to jump over it and then you take it out. So I used to love such brain games and
yeah.
that
Okay.
puzzles. And my main thing was like I used to lose in the beginning. So anything I lose or I get worse at, I want to improve that. So my main motivation was that. And about chess, which I really love, is like, it's such an old game. Like so many years it has been played and it's still not solved. So
Yeah.
every day I find something new about it. And also it's such a global game. Like I've met people from like almost every country. So that's a nice thing. Like game unites everyone. So I like those things. And this of course mental stimulation which you get after winning a good game or something or finding a good move.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
of
yeah.
course nice.
For sure, for sure. And okay, I think there's an interesting question here. Why is Black Lotus not in the background today?
Oh, it is there. I can just show you. It's there.
Okay, it's there.
But if I sat in my normal position, my Wi-Fi range would not be like, my phone wouldn't catch my Wi-Fi. So it's out of, majburi rather than, choice.
Okay, okay, okay. So you were talking about playing chess with your dad. So what
Yeah.
age did you finally beat him for the first time?
I don't recall actually. First, he used to give me odds, to make me win. But
Yeah.
after, like gradually, it stopped. He stopped giving me odds, and he lost. I don't recall. Like I have a very faint memory of it. When was the first time I defeated him or something? Maybe it was really quick, because when you join a club, you play like lot of strong players. My dad
Yeah.
was good at chess, but like until a certain level, right? Uh,
Yeah.
I really don't recall. Like very faint memories.
And
बहुत
which
पहले था ना, like 18 years ago.
when was the last time you lost to him?
I think that point was like एक महीने का ही gap होगा when I lost to him and then I defeated him. It must be like 6.5 or something when I started playing.
Okay, nice, nice, nice. So obviously, in India, education is considered extremely important. So what is that first
Yeah,
reaction that you or your parents had when, you decided to play chess full time and play professionally?
I think it changed when I won my first national championship. That was I think under 11. So they were
Hmm.
very supportive from the beginning. ऐसा कोई था ही नहीं. So without their support, I don't think I would have been able to like pursue it as a profession. So my
Yeah.
mom, she sacrificed her clinic. Like she was like, okay, I'll travel with you, and she let that go. My dad used to manage everything here. ऐसा सब कुछ. My sister used to come with me. So without that support, it wouldn't have been possible. But I remember at 10th, एक 10th के बाद एक decision लेना होता है हमेशा हर family की. What do you pursue now, studies or chess? Like 10th तक सब ठीक है. And the thing was, in 10th also I scored 92%. So it was a big dilemma. And I was a little bit stuck in chess that moment. But I managed to convince my dad. My mom was not fully convinced. So first year I took science in 11th. But then, later on she was like, okay, fine, move to arts. And even after I completed my graduation, she was like, yaar, master's ka degree to chahiye. Who doesn't have master's? Like, but my dad was like, arey, he's playing chess. Why you want him to do master's now? Something like that.
Yeah. Right. So you were telling us about winning the national championship at 11.
Yeah.
So how did that feel, sort of, to know that you're the best player in India for your age group?
Oh, that was great because tab tak I used to win only like state championship and like those kind of events. So that was the first time I realized, okay, uh, I can do something, like I can achieve something. And after that, I won like 4 consecutive national championships. And I still miss that feeling, क्योंकि in that age group I used to dominate. अभी when you grow up, that domination somehow loses or like कम हो जाता है. So I miss that feeling of dominating the entire field, like winning round to spare tournaments and stuff like this. But that was very important because if you don't get that initial victory, then you're not sure कि ये pursue करना चाहिए कि नहीं, right?
Right. For sure. And obviously, you and many of the other colleagues of yours also would have grown up watching Vishy Anand. Now you're like playing
Yeah.
against him. So what is that transition like, to go from watching him and him being your role model to, being a teammate or playing against him the first time?
So I always tell a story which kind of embarrasses or like थोड़ा सा problematic कर देता हूँ मैं आनंद के लिए. So I remember I used to play a tournament जहाँ पे था I was 10 years old ऐसा कुछ, and it was a Maharashtra state tournament. So the prize was, if you win that event, you get to go to Hyderabad where World Cup was happening, where Anand was playing. And I won that tournament 10 out of 10 points, like no risk, And I went to see that finals of Anand, which he won against Kasim Sano. And I remember there in the lobby, I used to take his autograph. Like all the Indian team members who were there, I took their autograph and stuff.
Who
so
else
it's like
was there?
I will whenever I remember Shashi Kiran, who is now I think Indian number 5. Hari Krishna, who is now Indian number 2. I think his autograph as well. And also the women players, Humpy, who was in the Olympiad team. Those memories, And it feels like sometimes surreal कि ऐसा हो गया कि एक time पे I was taking their autograph, like really looking up to them, and then managing to play alongside. So it feels very nice.
Right. So what is that experience of playing him in a competitive match for the first time?
Actually, ऐसा था कि I was in the Indian top 5 for some time, but I never got a chance to play with him. And it was, I felt like I was missing out on that experience because I'm there, I'm hanging out with him, but I'm not playing against him. So I was missing out on that, and I think 2018 was the first time I played with him. And it's a different feeling. Like you look at someone, you look at their games and all that stuff. But when you play is actually when you realize the strength, the weaknesses, and all that stuff very closely because it's real time. That was nice. But the main feeling which I really cherish is when in 2019 I finally managed to win. उसके पहले draw ही किया था, and I lost him. But 2019 when I finally won, it was nice. कि अरे, okay, chalo. That also with black pieces. So that's a good memory for me.
Right. So, obviously there are different levels in chess. You become international master, then grandmaster. So how was that sort of for you? Did you always think about these ratings and calculations and all, or did you just sort of like to play and keep winning?
No, I just like to play and keep winning. That would be the biggest lie if I said that. No. I used to get I used to get bothered, man, a lot by the results. It used to piss me off so much, बहुत
Yeah.
ज़्यादा. And that
Mm.
was one of the reasons why I got stuck. Like I had a very smooth sailing until I was like 2500 rating, and that is one of the requirements to become a grandmaster. And the other requirement is that you have to get the grandmaster norms. That is like play a certain level in some tournaments to get that certificate. I had got the rating part. That was clear.
Yeah.
One requirement was clear. But always in those tournaments, last minute pe, when there was this pressure ki, okay, if I draw this game, I'm there, ho gaya.
Yeah.
It's done. And that is the moment where I used to fail the most because वो pressure आता था कि that result is there in front of you. I'll become one of the youngest GMs and all that stuff. That's that I had a very 3 साल तक I didn't make big progress. So that was a rough patch. But okay, I learned from it. But I felt that I missed out also on that because of my mindset ki okay, as you said, just play and not care about it. वो नहीं था मेरे पास. I used to care
Mm.
about the results a lot. I think it's very hard to distance, no? I mean, from your experience also,
No, for
you
sure,
might have had the
100%.
same.
No,
It
100%.
bothers.
But
When you lose, it bothers.
no, but there are still some people who the loss bothers, but they won't go into the calculations. They won't think that, oh, if I win this match, I'll reach 2400, 2500 essay. They just think, okay, I lost the match. I'm pissed off at myself because of that, but that's it. But some people, yeah, like even I'm like you, I look into it quite a bit.
Yeah, like I think that competitive quality is there amongst all the players I see in general, like
Yeah,
whoever are my colleagues also. It's the only
yeah,
thing is how quickly you recover from it, from that pissed off state. That's the only thing. Like some people recover quickly, but everyone gets pissed off.
right,
ऐसा.
right, right. So, besides obviously this moment a couple of days ago, what do you think has been the biggest moment in your chess career, and can you just talk to us about that?
Like apart from what happened recently,
Yeah,
you mean?
apart from the Olympiad, because we'll get to that in a bit.
Biggest moment. Mm, I think there are a couple of milestones in the journey. One of the things was I was struggling to become the world champion. National champion हो गया, Asian में भी medal आ गया, but world champion I was not becoming. Like I think under 12 when I first played. It was a new experience when I went there. Like all such strong players and nobody was friendly. Like the kids also
Uh,
when you play them, they used to give like shake hands, like barely shake hands, like that.
yeah.
So I used to get intimidated by all that. And I remember even in childhood there was one thing. Yeah, okay, I'll not digress. I'll not digress. Um,
No, no, you can talk, don't worry.
no, the thing was I used to get intimidated by the body language. So when I was 7 years old, I used to play some state championship. So the bigger my opponent, the more afraid I used to feel because just of his body language. And so these things bothered me a lot. So even when their opponents were not friendly, I used to be like already, why are they being like this, and get derailed. Like it's a very 12-year-old, 14-year-old wala thing. Nowadays it doesn't matter. You are more immune to that. So I always feared playing someone who is like bigger than me, taller than me, or like more healthier than me in my childhood. That's really sad. Uh, so what I was saying, yeah. So yeah, this world championship, in the first few times I did not do well, but when I won the under 14 world championship, that gave me a confidence boost. Ki, okay, even at the world level, I can perform well. So that was one milestone. Second milestone was finally I uh, overcame the hurdle of becoming grandmaster. कि हो नहीं रहा, and then eventually हो गया types. So that was one of the milestones. And then another thing was to reach 2700. So it's very
Yeah.
rare to become 2700 rating in chess because as you become like पहले कैसा था graph you increase very quickly, but then all minute improvements matter, right? In any sport, any field. So
Hmm.
मेरा ग्राफ ऐसा ऐसा ही चालू था एक टाइम पे थोड़ा ऊपर थोड़ा नीचे थोड़ा ऊपर. It was not going up. So I was struggling for this 2700 bit, and eventually in World Cup 2017, I was like I think 22 or something like that. I managed that 2700 rating, which is like unofficially called like the Super GM wala status, Super Grandmaster wala status. So yeah, that gave me a big confidence boost. And after that, winning some tournaments, as a sub, like holding, like making a draw against Carlsen with black and stuff like this. So
Yeah.
I cannot define like one moment which like stands out because the journey में इतने सारे थे. If that did not happen, the next one wouldn't. Sorry for
Okay.
that long and
No,
long
don't.
answer.
It's fine. We have more than enough time. I think everyone is dying to hear from you also, so no worries. Okay, so let's sort of go into the rapid fire section now.
Oh, there is rapid fire. Oh man, pressure. There is pressure now.
Yeah, there's a little bit of pressure, but you're usually good under the clock, I think, so it's okay. So,
I'm scared.
what is your favorite sport besides chess, just to play casually?
Can I name two?
Sure.
Badminton and basketball.
Okay, nice.
Sorry, table tennis is third. It's right there. It's there, but I'm so bad at it. That's why it's third. I'm not so good.
No, no, don't worry. If not for chess, what do you think you would be doing today?
I would be doing some kind of research. I'm very intrigued by all like, how our brain works. Maybe some psychology or like neuroscientist, maybe one of those fields where I can get to do a lot of research type of stuff. Again, it's all related to brain stimulation somehow. Now I correlate.
Okay. If there was a biopic made on you, which actor do you think would play a role?
Bapre, this is such a tough question. Uh, I have no clue. I have no clue. Uh, very tough.
Okay, chal, let's make it
I've
easier.
heard that.
Who's,
Have you seen this? Sorry, yeah, go on.
no, no, I'm saying if you want to make it easier, who's your favorite actor?
No, I was saying that there is a series called Castle. I don't know if you have seen it. This English
I've not
series.
seen
It's
it. I've
about this.
not seen it, but I heard about it.
Yeah, so they're the main protagonist. People said that I look similar to him. I don't know if it's true, but they said that I look similar to him. So maybe him. He could play it.
Okay, ठीक है. Who's your favorite athlete of all time?
Athlete. Oh wow. Um, Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
His
Your
killer
role?
instinct was crazy, man. It was amazing. Love it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You've seen Last Dance?
Yeah. That's why I was like, I fell in more in love with him. That was amazing.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Who's been your role model growing up?
I used to really idolize Gary Kasparov because he used to play chess and he also had this domination. Like he was world number one for 15 years.
Yeah,
And Bobby Fischer. Both of them were like absolute legends. So
yeah.
both of them I would consider my idols in growing up.
Okay, awesome. And they're asking, many people in the comments are asking, who do you think is the best comedian at chess?
Oh, I think I think Samay is really doing well right now. Samay, and I think Upmanyu is also good. Of course, there's also Akash Mehta, but okay, I've not seen much of him. But I would say Samay has improved. He has
Okay,
improved.
ठीक है.
What a controversial question. Chat always asks controversial questions.
And this is a very personal question to myself. So, no, don't worry. I'm not asking what you thought.
I
If
thought, where is this going?
no, don't worry. Not in public. But if we played a chess match, in how many moves do you think you'd checkmate me?
You're
You've
pretty
seen me
good,
play.
man.
No,
You're
come
pretty
on.
good. You're pretty good.
Don't say all that.
No, but like when we had that match, you did really well. So I think it would last longer than 15 moves, I would say.
About 15 moves?
Yeah, 15 moves plus. So I think 20. Okay, I'll try 20, but 20 to 25. I'll try.
20
It's
to
not easy, but you
25.
played well. Yeah.
ठीक है. So let's try this one day then.
If I can't keep up my word, it'll be very embarrassing. But
So
you play really well, so
no,
I'll not
so we
be surprised.
No, but so basically to increase the pressure and the stakes, we can do it on your stream and see what everyone says.
Wow. You have learned how to create content. Nice, nice.
Thoda bahut I'm learning. Okay. So, what is your first thought? The first thing that ran through your mind when you announced as GM?
Finally, ho gaya.
Okay.
Like that, there was this relief. It's done.
Relief, yeah.
I don't have to care about it. Yeah.
Okay. What was the first thought when you beat Vishy Anand for the first time?
That was nice. What are people saying about it? Yeah, that was the thing.
Your first thought when Carlsen offered you the draw?
I just laughed.
You didn't expect it at all.
I was like, why? I mean, he has the reputation of never offering a draw. Yeah. And he offered a draw, and like, even in the video, it's visible. Like, I just laughed. I couldn't control. It never happens that I laugh like on this as a video pe game chalu hai, and I just couldn't resist that time.
Okay. What was your first reaction when India lost their internet connection in the final?
Oh, I had a fit of rage that point. Like, I got up when you mean when I lost it, right? पहले group stages में एक हुआ था और एक finals में भी हुआ था. Finals में, okay. Finals में I was more stable क्योंकि I knew that there is nothing wrong from our end. कि अभी हो गया तो क्या करेंगे, you know. But the same thing when it happened in the group stage, I had like 20 seconds and I could have drawn the game and we would have easily been first. And तब ऐसा किया तो I was like very mad at myself कि I was not ready for the light going and how did we lose the match. So I was very pissed and I threw a tantrum at home for like first 1 or 2 minutes. Then I collected myself.
No, I remember because then you all had to beat China, not to finish first.
Yeah. Exactly. It was not so easy. Yeah.
What is the first reaction when India was announced joint winners?
Super duper happy, man. Like I was completely elated. And when my vice captain Srinath, he got communicated this news and he told me that we are going to be announced the joint winners. I was like, what? Really? What? Is this happening? And then I was like, is it official? And he was like, no, wait for it before it becomes official. So I was like, I couldn't resist telling the entire world, okay, we have won it. You know, that was the reaction. And I was super happy, so I congratulated the team and stuff. So I wanted to express that joy. That was the first thought when it happened.
Right. And what is the reaction when, what is your reaction when a nice super chat comes in?
What is nice?
Whatever you think is nice. How much ever, if it's a big amount or if it's a funny message or something.
I love getting some funny super chats, and I think in one of the streams, I think like people make these jokes which are like completely hilarious. So one of the things was like he was watching my Olympiad, one of the guys, and he had to see a prospective bride, you know. He had to meet her. But when he went to meet, he was constantly watching the Olympiad and he couldn't get that bride. And then he said, okay, it was still worth it watching India win the gold. You know, some super chats like this really amuse me. कि ऐसा भी होता है क्या मतलब? Right. So like that. And also there are people make jokes about like, oh, I'm so glad that I started playing chess. Now my wife and my girlfriend play chess amongst each other and I'm very happy. Something like this, you know. Some weird jokes also come in. So,
people say wife and girlfriend at the same time.
It's a joke, I suppose. Yeah, exactly. So I assume it's a joke, and if it's true, then मैं क्या बोलूँ भी.
Right. Okay, so last two rapid fire. Who do you think was the secret weapon of the Indian team in the Olympiad?
Internet.
Okay.
And to answer it honestly, I have no idea what was the secret weapon. I think it was the support of the viewers because that
Yeah.
was super motivation. कभी हुआ नहीं था. That was the
Yeah.
one thing which changed from the previous Olympiad. So I would say that.
Yeah. I think Samay's stream or Chessbase, whichever one was streaming it, I'm forgetting. But one of them had what, 65,000 or something watching, no?
Yeah, yeah. In the finals, it went to 68,000, something like this, which was
Yeah.
insane. That was the
Yeah,
peak.
yeah, yeah. Crazy, crazy. Okay, and last one in the rapid fire. Every player has their own sort of style or own favorite, chess moves. So what is your favorite, like, chess piece? Which one of the six is your favorite that you like to use?
Of course, king, because
Okay.
everything apart from that, then I'll have to settle for not having because everything is based on the king safety. So if I had to pick, I would pick the king. Why to
Okay.
settle?
Right, right, right. Okay, so back to the regular questions. So, obviously India recently won the very prestigious FIDE Online Chess Olympiad under your captaincy, and also tell us about the preparation for this big event, and how did you feel to be announced captain as well?
When it happened, I was like very happy when they asked me to. And the only thing which the first reaction was like, okay, what will be my job? What were my duties?
Hmm.
One of the things was कि I have to pick the team for the games and stuff. So from my previous experiences, I realized कि ऐसा होता था बहुत बार. If a person loses a game, he is dropped and then he is not fielded. I thought that's very damaging to the player's confidence. कि, okay, one game he is losing, so he'll have so much pressure कि every time he plays, हारा तो मैं टीम से निकल गया. I felt that some things like that were not really ideal. So I thought, okay, if I am in charge, I had already some thoughts about it. Ki how will I, pick the players and how will I manage that? So that was one of the things which made me accept the captainship, and the experience was very interesting. Ki I learned a lot. Like you have to be like a leader many times. Ki I'm that type of person. Ki if I'm faced with a choice, I'll ask my closed ones, okay, what should I do about it? I'll
Hmm.
not take the final decision instantly. I'll be like, okay, I'll ask everybody's opinion, then do it. But when you're the captain, you can ask the opinion, but एक point पे you have to take a stand. कि, okay, this is what I'm going with, and इसकी responsibility I'm taking. Doesn't matter what. So I
Hmm.
learned a lot about that stuff. कि, okay, take the responsibility and take tough decisions in short time. Because game के बीच में there used to be like 10-15 minutes maximum. You have to change the team sometimes. So take the decision, you have to be responsible. And the ability, like when you're leading, you have to also be ready to solve the problem. जैसे internet के issues आ रहे थे. So I thought, okay, I have to learn how to solve this, take that responsibility as well so that the players can play. It was a good experience, I would say. I learned a lot from it.
Right, right, right. It was obviously a big, big honor for you. But can you tell us about the preparation? Sort of what was the 1 or 2 weeks before the Olympiad? How do you
Mm-hmm.
prepare? What was your daily schedule? How many hours do you train? Things like that.
Yeah, so just before this tournament, there was another online tournament called Online Nations Cup. And there also India played, but we didn't do so well. And especially I didn't do well there. So I was very disappointed with that. So I took my learnings. And as soon as this Olympiads was announced, I was like, okay, let's get to business. Let's make a training plan. I have 1 month. And I believe there are two types of training. One, you have an intense training session. For example, you train like 6-8 hours a day or 10 hours a day for like a small period of time, like a week or 10 days. But I believe the more sustainable approach is better, where you train every day for like 3-4 hours a day for 1 month. Then every day you're putting in some effort, right? So I divided my training into two parts. Like one is the physical aspect, कि थोड़ा exercise करना. So many times I used to like have coaching sessions and I used to be walking on treadmill at the same time. So I have a laptop there and I'm working and then I'm walking on the treadmill because not every time I used to get time to do the physical workout as I was streaming as well. So I had some time for streaming, some time for chess related work. Of course, meditation, which I really do every day. So I had made a plan for 1 month. If I keep doing this over a month's time, at least I'll be happy when I'm going into the tournament. I am that type of person कि if I don't do what ऐसा regret रहता है कि I felt like I could do more, I could have achieved more. So I didn't want that feeling. Even if I lose, at least I can say, okay, I did the best I could. Uh, so I made a training plan and I stuck to it like 90% of the times. Okay,
That's
I was
good enough.
also like, yeah, I was procrastinating on some days. कभी काउंटर स्ट्राइक खेल लिया क्योंकि बहुत स्ट्रेस हो जाता था. So I used to also procrastinate. I had my guilty pleasures and stuff like this. But most of the times I kept with the schedule and it paid off. And there
Mm.
were other part of training was key training with the team where my vice captain Srinath, he helped me a lot. So he organized tournaments for the junior players so that they are warmed up before going into the tournament. So it's not rusty, you know. पहले थोड़ा खेल लिया है, अभी your mind is alert when you're going in the game. Also, we learned a lot about their weaknesses and strengths. I wanted to take a complete professional approach. अगर tournament पे जा रहे हैं तो you go full prepared. Like there's no point in giving half-hearted attempt, which I did earlier. I felt like in a way in preparation wise, क्योंकि अभी time ज़्यादा था. So yeah, that was my training routine most of the days.
Right. So you were talking about strategy. So how big in chess is it to understand how your opponent plays and what type of sort of opening or what sort of defense should you use against a certain player? How different is it versus different types of players?
So you help me answer, like actually many times in chess what happens, like next day you're playing an opponent, so you go through all his games जो खेले हुए database में होता है, you go through that and then you see, okay, he has played this game, his opponent did not play the best move, he can improve on that, so next time he faces this, I'll change this move and stuff like this. And this goes on right until the game is beginning, like even 15 minutes before the game we are still checking because it's so exhaustive, like there are so many probabilities, so it cannot be exhausted. um, so we are just checking, so sometimes it's even stressful game ke pehle. But tell me, in physical sports, like even in table tennis, how is it like? Are you even stressed right before you go to the game, or like just you have a match and the day before that, what do you do? Like, do you relax, or you're still like, what is the routine there? Very curious to know.
No. The day before for sure we train because you also get used to the playing conditions in that specific arena, no? Because obviously
Okay.
the size of the hall is different, so ball travels
Mm-hmm.
differently, the tables are different. So all that you
Mm-hmm.
have to obviously get used to. So day before you train in the hall, even the day of the match you train. But in terms of
Okay.
analysis, pretty much, you know everyone's game sort of. There's not that much that you can change. As in chess, you can
Okay.
go with 10, 12 different openings maybe, but a player
Yeah.
sort of cannot change as much in TT
Mm-hmm.
at least. I mean, there are some
Mm-hmm.
people who are stronger in some things and weaker in some things, but it's not like you can completely change it. So I think it's a little bit different. But yeah, of course, analysis is on the day before the match.
So it's mostly, you would say, like warming up and getting used to the conditions rather than very specific preparation for the. I
For
always
sure.
felt like the difference when compared to chess and other sports is like day before you can even like sometimes relaxation is equally important. So you can like watch a movie or like go out with your friends to take that pressure off. Does that also happen?
No. I mean, you can do it partly, but I mean, 1 or 2 hours you have to train because if you don't get used to the conditions, it's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
hard.
partly, of course. Yeah, not all,
Huh.
like all the time because that's also tiring. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a little bit you can do, I guess. You need to
Okay.
relax also, no?
Okay.
So yeah, I was
But
gonna
chess
get
में
to
तो it's
this
like very
next.
intense right before going to the game as well. Like half an hour before we are
No.
checking, what if he plays that? What if he plays that? Something like this.
No. For us, it's quite relaxed, as in body warm up and just relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Okay.
was actually going to ask you this next in terms of physical training. So what is sort of the routine for a chess player in terms of physical training, and what sort of muscles or muscle groups do you all work on? Because I can obviously imagine back or neck and certain other things are very important so that you can train for longer hours. So how does that work?
I'm not the right person to answer this because I wouldn't say that I'm the most physically fit player. Uh, what I used to do is like uh, play sports, other sports, and that used to be my fitness. I used to do badminton quite a lot. I really enjoyed it. Then basketball sometimes, but I did not specifically train, on my muscles or like very specific training. Um, I sometimes do yoga, ऐसा कुछ, but I wouldn't say it's that professional. So maybe there are other people who do it more professionally. Mine is very generic in nature. So chess mein, I feel like you should be healthy, you should have decent fitness, but you don't need that level of fitness which would be required in other sports. But yeah, of course, it would help if it's like more professional. Maybe something I should still work on. One area which I feel like I'm lacking right now.
Right. Okay, so the next part was you were mentioning also that you were streaming a little bit before the Olympiad also.
Yeah.
So how does that sort of work in terms of keeping your focus or things like that? Has your coach or somebody else always been like you shouldn't stream and things like that?
I had mixed opinions. Like पहले जो tournament था जब announce हुआ, I thought okay I should not stream. I should be very focused. But that was counterproductive. You put too much pressure on yourself. So I was streaming this time. That was funny. Like sometimes I'm playing some tournaments, or if I don't do well because I'm playing and talking and streaming at the same time, थोड़ा multitasking. If I don't do well, I used to read some comments. It will be like अरे ये क्या captain बनेगा? अरे some kid will come and defeat him. You know all these comments. So it used to bother me initially.
Yeah.
And later on, I got immunized to that little bit because every day if you see such comments, you will feel like okay, fine. I mean, it's just normal. Like you become used to that. But I gradually stop playing that much online when I'm streaming because the hate rate sometimes, online hate can be sometimes a bit devastating. But itna nahi aaya. It's like 10%. So I was focusing on the 10% instead of focusing on the 90%, which were like super supportive. That was my problem. And I think it was also giving me energy कि I'm playing. And so many people are like wishing me for the Olympiad and they're so excited. Especially when I became the captain, people were very excited. So I was very happy about that. But I had to learn also to deal with the negative comments क्योंकि वो तो आएंगे and I'm very sensitive when it comes to that. So I had to learn कि not to take it too seriously, not to take it too much to heart. And there was one stream right before I went to Olympiad. That was कि I was playing and a friend of mine, Sagar, who was doing the commentary, he was doing the commentary on my behalf. I'm playing on my stream, but I'm just focused on playing. And I did really well in that stream, which gave me the confidence, okay, I'm not that bad. So, yeah, mixed experiences there.
Right. So, what do you think is the way forward for Indian chess from this? Obviously, as part of the Indian team, you want to capitalize on this victory and take it forward. So, what do you think are the next steps for Team India?
By the way, is it okay if I just digress a bit and switch on my fan? It's like getting quite hot here. Yeah?
Okay. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Huh.
So you said like what are the next steps, right?
Yeah.
The problem is in India there are like a lot of travel restrictions right now. Like to go to Europe and play. I think in Europe they have already started playing. Playing normal chess and they are going to tournaments. But India say it's very hard to travel right now. So I feel most of the future for the next 6 months or 1 year would be online. So I have to kind of train for that, which is a pity because right before the pandemic, I felt like I was on my peak. Like I had become world number 18 also at one point, which was very close. Anand was world number 16, for example. So I was like very close there. And just this pandemic happened at my peak. So I feel like I lost like a year and a half, which was very crucial. But okay, you just have to adjust. Now online has shown that, chess can be really like made a spectator sport if it's done correctly. So I'm now focusing on playing online chess. Maybe there'll be some tournaments. There is Magnus Carlsen Tour, for example, and big things are happening in the chess world right now.
So how different is playing online and board chess?
We are so used to playing over the board, but our mainly training is done 2D, like on the PC, for example. So I don't feel that much of a difference. The only thing is like जो internet का issue है, that can be a problem. Like your mouse stops working while playing in the game. Some technical, but let's say from visualization perspective, like to look at a 3D board or a 2D board, I personally don't feel that much of a difference. But online the games are like at a shorter pace, shorter time control, because attention span वैसे ही कम हो जाता है if you're doing it online. Whereas the over the board games mainly are like longer time controls, which are my specialty. Because I am like that type of person कि I'll sit down and try to find the best move, थोड़ा वैसा perfectionist वाला deal. क्या हुआ वेदिका? Okay. Sorry, somebody came in my room.
No worries,
my sister.
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries.
So I was saying that I'm that perfectionist, for example. But when it comes to online, it's more like you have to take an intuitive decision. You have to be quick. You have to be more practical. So I'm like kind of adjusting to that right now.
Right. Okay, so obviously, I think the juniors in India are playing a big role. Obviously, they played a big role in the Olympiad as well, and they'll hopefully take over chess in the next 5, 10, 15 years whenever they reach their peak. So, what do you think of the current under 18, under 16, even under 12 players coming up, and who do you think are the brightest prospects?
So definitely, like whoever played in the team, for example, Nihal Sareen, Pragnananda, Divya Deshmukh, Vantika, they are all good players. And for example, it was junior category they were playing, but they are all like 15, 16. So you see, they are still so far off from becoming 19. 3 years, and all other country players were 18, 19. Already our kids, like the junior players, they're so much younger. So kitna potential hai. But it always happens like a generation of good players comes, and then if they get the right infrastructure, right grooming, they become like one of the world's best. But wo nahi aaya, so they become ek level tak and they get stagnant, because as you know, sports mein you have to constantly train. And if you don't do that in the correct way, the talent is only good enough until a certain point. So I really wish that in India, all sports are looked at with more, I would say, professional outlook, it should be taken more seriously, the training patterns, and no compromises should be made in that term. I think in all sports, I feel, if we get that, even in Olympics, we'll win so many medals, because talent and hard work karne mein to we are not behind, I would say, than anyone. It's just like right grooming is required.
Right.
That's my take on it.
And obviously Hikaru and many others have also started doing a lot of streaming, esports. Do you think this is the future for chess?
By the way, I'm impressed by your knowledge of chess, man. You know almost everything. That's so good. And the questions which you've selected are like so damn good, really. Very impressed.
I've been following, man, since I came on some stream. I've been following a lot. I actually end up playing around at least 30 minutes. So I play chess every day.
You have to come on stream then. we'll have a match on stream.
Whenever you invite me, I'm ready.
Sure, done. So Hikaru is streaming, and then what was the question with it?
And he's streaming, you're streaming, obviously Anish, many others. So what sort of is the future of chess in esports, streaming, all of that?
So पहले ऐसा होता था कि when they used to stream, people sometimes used to be looking down upon it कि यार ये serious नहीं है, ये streaming कर रहा है types. But now it has become the norm. And in India, for example, nobody used to stream. So I remember even when I started streaming, पहले people used to be like कि look down upon, make fun of, अरे stream हो गया क्या? ऐसा types, like give sarcastic comments, not like people, but the colleagues. But then they realized, okay, it's really good, like more and more people are joining in and it's growing the game. Then they realized, okay, so now those who are like sometimes mocking themselves are looking forward to streaming. That's a nice change, I feel. And Hikaru got signed up for Esports team, TSM. And I think Carlson is also hinting at that. So maybe chess could be one of those sports which is like also sport and also combined in esports. So that fusion would be very cool. So
No,
definitely, I think
esports is
Hikaru
surely
also
the
said that,
future.
yeah, because they also organize it very professionally, esports arena and all that stuff. It's done very
Yeah,
professionally. So I think if that happens, it would be very nice. Right now, at least people like the streaming, and the response is good, which I really appreciate. Yeah.
right, right, right. And also, I mean, India is known as the country of leagues. Pretty much every sport, starting from cricket first, and then, every other sport has followed through. Do you think there's any chance that we're going to see a chess league soon?
As long as Samay doesn't become a comedian again and he's still into chess, I think we see a good prospect because really his role cannot be underestimated.
Yeah.
What he has done in the lockdown. Usually it's like some organization which does it, but Samay took upon himself this job and he really got involved. People also showered love on him, and I think he's the best prospect to start a league. So, if the lockdown doesn't finish and someone is still involved in chess, I think a league could happen. That would be very nice. Would you like to see
Yeah.
a league, chess league?
I would completely love to. I'm telling you, since that stream, I mean, obviously I'd seen a little bit of chess before that, but I was not really into it. But once I played on that stream, and once, before that, obviously, little bit I was, searching around and stuff. It got me really interested, as you were saying, there's just so many different openings, different options, different things that can be done. So it's just very interesting. You always
So,
keep
what do
learning.
you like? What do you like about the chess streams which you watched, for example, and chess as a game? Sorry, counter questioning, but I'm curious as well.
No, I think it's really fun. I mean, the first part is just that obviously Samay and Sagar and everyone is really funny, but at the same time
Mhm.
you're learning chess. Like obviously at this point, even if I watch, forget you, but even if I watch Samay playing, there are a lot of moves that he will see that I won't see.
Mhm.
So just sort of understanding how people see those moves, what's possible, not possible, things like that is just interesting, and obviously entertainment is always good. So
So is it
they're
like a mixture of both? Like you also get some value and also have a good time with like jokes and laughter as entertainment. So that mix
yeah,
you
yeah.
found is good, right?
No, for sure. I mean, for me, as I said, I mean, I played about 30 minutes maybe every day. It's fun for me, a little bit, stimulation to my brain and a little bit thinking, but mainly it's because I like it. There's no real other
Okay.
reason.
Okay.
So
Cool.
that's sort of how it is. ठीक है, चलो. So we're coming towards the end of this, but I just want to ask you the last question as to what advice would you give to young chess players who are aspiring to become GMs, super GMs like yourself?
I have said this that right now it's like the best time to start learning chess. If like um, someone is a kid or their parents and they're concerned about their kids taking up chess, I would say this is the best time because अभी एक boom हुआ है chess में and there will be more and more opportunities. So if you're starting at this peak, it's only going to get better in a way because you'll get more tournaments to play, more people around, more clubs, uh, and more chances to become like a better player. If this would be same like a little bit earlier, I think in general also sports का outlook change हुआ है last couple of years में. I feel, in my opinion, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I feel like it's now more and more people are considering sports as a career. जो पहले like 10 years ago, for example, they would be hesitant to do so. So I think this is the right time because chess में तो it's a boom and also in sports is more let's say respected or more professional than before. So if they are curious and why not to start if it happens it's good otherwise it's still uh, chess sickness you learn a lot about like other areas in life also which can be helpful.
Right, right, right. There was one more question in the chat that came in that's actually interesting. A
I'm
lot
very
of the
worried
young
about chat
players are
questions.
no, 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 don't worry. I'm choosing them like smartly. So no, but so a lot of the younger players in India and even worldwide are really, really good. And there are also, older players who are good. So is there sort of any peak age or any right age to start playing and things like that or no?
I think the younger you are, the better it is. So I think Carlson started at the age of 4.5, 5. Most of the prodigies, they started very early on. So I think 5 or like even 4, 4 to 10 is a good time. Like if they're just starting out, the earlier
Yeah.
the better. But it doesn't mean that if you start later on, it's like not going to help you or something like this. But you get more years, right? Like the basics. And when you're younger, also you're a little bit more carefree. Ki you don't have other responsibilities. When you get older, you have like other stuff, like school का भी थोड़ा tension आ जाता है. Then you're worried about the financial stability, is it a good career and stuff like this. But when you're younger, you don't have to worry about that. You can just play and you learn much faster. I think it applies to any other sport because sport has this age ka thing, right?
Yeah.
There's a barrier to it.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna end this soon, but just one last quick prediction. I sort of missed it out in my rapid fire, and I remembered it now. What do you think
Okay.
Samai's rating is going to be at the end of 2020?
Oh man, this is such a good question. मुझे लगता है वो 1600 कर लेगा.
1600?
If he doesn't do it, I'll be disappointed. I feel like I'll lack somewhere if he doesn't become 1600.
So that's the challenge, guys. Open challenge, 1600 by the end of the year.
Yeah, exactly. If he doesn't do it, I'll be very disappointed. People are
Nice.
optimistic in the chat. 1700.
2700.
Nice,
Oh my
Ria.
God.
Nice.
Okay. So awesome. Thank you everyone for joining in, but most importantly, thank you Vidit for joining us on episode 22
My
of
pleasure.
In the Spotlight. And yeah, I just wish you all the best for all your future tournaments, streams, everything else that you have. And stay safe. And again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Mudit. Like, it's so nice to speak to you. And like, as a sports player, we can relate to some of the things, which is very
Yeah.
nice. And you would understand my answers much better, even if sometimes I'm blabbering. It was a real pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And take care, guys. Next week we'll be back. So yeah, thank you, Vidit.
Thank you. Bye bye.